Hey guys, so I just went live on my own personal page, but rather than taking the time to upload that video to here, I thought I would go ahead and do it again. Okay. We have caught another swarm. If you watched our bee video, which should be available on BitChute and Rumble and Brighteon, and I need to help my mom get it uploaded to Facebook here. But we caught a swarm and we've got video footage of it. And now I have a second swarm. They swarmed today, I think, from the same hive. Okay. But what is so cool, and I'm going to immediately flip this camera around for you to see, is they've been out here for several hours in my new box. They were up in the tree there on a branch, and we climbed up there and we shook them into the box and we brought them down here. But I had to go get Kansas. Well, I called him. Not gonna lie. I said, he was up on the deck helping me build bee frames. And I said, you have to come down here. I had this makeshift little lid, that little produce crate sitting on top of here so that they could all kind of still gather but have some sort of lid. And I pulled it off because I intended to put on a real lid for these girls. And here she was, just sitting there, literally by herself. Everybody is giving her all sorts of space. It's almost like she is a queen with her scepter, and all of her subjects. Even though that's not really how it works. If you're unfamiliar with bees, you don't know a whole lot. The queen bee does not rule the hive. I will tell you who rules the hive. As soon as a bee hatches out, it becomes a nurse bee. And the nurse bee's jobs are exactly like they sound, and that is to feed and to take care of the eggs and the larvae. And so, I'm going to see if I can set my camera here so you can see her as well as some of the others. Oh, that's a good shot. So as soon as a nurse bee or a baby bee hatches out and gets its job as a nurse bee, that entire crew of nurse bees run the entire hive. The youngest bees rule everything. And then after about 4 weeks of being a nurse bee or graduating to various different jobs of the hive, we've got, they make wax and they keep the hive clean, and we've got guard bees and all this, that, and the other. But the very last job that a bee gets is to become a flyer. And they spend the last 2 weeks of their lives putting on countless miles on their little wings and their little bodies, bringing back nectar and honey and propolis from trees. Now, the propolis is what you see. This box has been used before, and I didn't clean this box on purpose because I want them to start out with some extra propolis. Normally, I would scrape this all down when I get into a hive. That's probably a squished dead bee in there, mummified, and start out fresh so that my next box would sit on here really nicely. Okay. But because I want them to have this propolis, I'm just leaving it here, and eventually later on I will remove this. I'll make it, once they're more established. But because they're just getting started, they're starting out fresh, I'm going to probably feed them a little bit. They are starting out with one frame of honey that I put in the middle, and it's drawn out comb. The rest of these frames are brand new, just made with what's called foundation. And that's a thin layer of foundation, and then with the wires through it, and they will draw that out into honeycomb. But the very fact that we have this queen bee here, and she's still sitting there, probably getting propolis or some sort of sugar out of this pine, is still amazing to me. It's still blowing my mind. I've been sitting here for probably 20 minutes just hanging out with her because I can't get over it. Leah and I were talking today that we were talking to another beekeeper actually, and I just said beekeepers are crazy. We get obsessed. Amy wants to know, is there a way to lure a swarm, or is it just random? No, you can lure a swarm, but the best way to do it is, we call it setting swarm traps, and us beekeepers will put a box out that's been used by bees and help lure a swarm that way. Now, if you are a new beekeeper and you've never kept bees before and you want to start, you can have a fresh box and find another beekeeper and ask them for some of their old frames that they're not going to use anymore. And that scent will draw, and put the frames in your new box, and that scent will help to draw the attraction. So, for example, the swarm was up there in the tree. And once I got everybody in the box here, obviously we got the queen, which is so exciting. There were still several that were gathering around in a ball in this area. And what was happening was they were coming back from their, what's the word? The flights that they would take to scouting flights. Thank you, Michelle. Slow brain there. It's been a long day, but we met Nigel Farage, so it's all worth it. I wanted to title this video, Meeting International Stars by Day, Catching Swarms by Night. Because as soon as we got home, Leah came in and she said, Michelle, there's another swarm in the hive. And normally I would question whether my other swarm, let me turn this camera around here. Normally I would question whether my other swarm had absconded and left the tree again. The camera's facing me, you're fine. But they were already drawing out comb, and they had brought in a whole frame of nectar, which is huge. So they're not leaving. And I checked on them. They look amazing. They're flying around. Mom, if you're brave, you don't have to be on camera, but I want you to, did Leah tell you?
No.
She didn't? I took this lid off. I had made a makeshift lid with that crate, and I was getting ready to put this on as a lid, and she's been sitting here for 25 minutes.
Is that the queen?
That is the queen.
She dead?
No, she's eating off of the wood. They're all eating the wood. They're eating the propolis or sugars or something. So I had to go live. So first I went live on my personal page, and then I went live on Resistance Chicks because I knew you guys would be excited about it. So Marlene says, hi from Indiana, buzz, buzz, buzz. So I'm going to leave you guys. I could stay here all day long talking bees with you. There's so much that I could teach you.
This is a new hive?
So much that I don't know. Yes. This is the brand new swarm we caught today. You didn't know we caught another? Yep.
No, I didn't know you caught one today.
So Mom has been so busy working on my other bee video that I'm going to make sure gets on Facebook. But in the meantime, you can go to Resistance Chicks on Rumble, BitChute, and Brighteon, right, Mom? It's on all of those, and watch it. It's 20 some odd minutes long. Is that right?
And your candid car ride.
And the candid car ride from earlier today.
It's all up.
And Patriot Gallery works so hard. She's amazing. She gets lots of cookies. Hi, baby. Look at that. These girls are so calm right now.
Are you the one that said come here?
No.
Leah?
It must have been Leah, but I'm so glad that you came over here.
Oh, Leah.
Okay, I'm really going to sign off so we can figure out what's going on around here, but I love you guys. Go watch our bee video. Patriot Gallery works so hard on it. It's fun. It has music. You get to see me get a swarm down, and it's just so exciting. So you can see what happened today, the other day. Okay, so, all right, you guys, I love you. God loves you. God bless. One more shot of the queen. Let me turn the camera on without getting Mom on. She'll shoot me. No, she wouldn't. She might like to. There she is again. All right. And there's everybody else. Looking good, looking good. Bye, guys.